sit.
Welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast, where we discuss Dynasty strategy, rankings, and all things NFL. So get ready to geek out on fantasy football with your host, Rich Dotson.
And welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Rich Dotson. He's Matt O'Hara.
Hey.
It's going pretty well. We booted Garrett out for the week. Talking too much last week.
Who needs him?
Dude, we did 5 years without him.
I know, right?
I mean, we did have Dynasty Mike here for a while.
We need him.
Too.
We need him.
But we need him big time.
Yeah.
Who's going to do our show sheets that we don't even really like? We didn't even really have show sheets, but who's going to keep us in order of what we're going to do next week?
Yeah, no, who knows?
Yeah. Who's going to be the game show host?
Not me. I've tried. I'm not that great.
I had a lot of fun last year doing Family Feud.
Last week?
What'd I say?
Last year.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun that time too.
Yeah, we did it last year also.
That was fun.
I had a better time this time.
Good. Those are
That's called recency bias, though. It might not have actually been a better time.
Yeah, game week. I wonder if we could extend game week like next year. Like it's all week long.
Game month?
No, that's a little
Right.
a little out of hand.
That does seem like
we got other things to talk about, like boomer bust.
That seems excessive.
I mean, dude, it's almost like camp opens like charters today.
Yeah.
Oh, things are opening soon. August, we start all our division reviews, so that takes a day and a half to do.
Yeah.
So football is right around the corner. Like I'm starting to smell something. It smells delicious.
Signings are starting to happen. There's
yeah.
I mean, there's a boatload of second-round draft picks that just aren't signing.
Yeah,
their contracts.
Well, I know one who isn't signing.
Ooh.
I know one who's not getting a guaranteed deal. Somebody even tweeted me like, "Hey, you know that Cleveland Browns rant you did about like the misery you guys live in?" He's like, "Here's another one to list." Of course, dude, of course it happens.
We're talking about it. Should we talk about it?
We talked. Well, we did talk about it on our show. I talked about our new content creator Andrew Mott, who did a fantastic job with me. But yeah, the Quinshon news. Like I told him, I went on this long rant of, and I know it's funny because I was thinking of you because you play a certain way, right? Like you're a big character guy.
I am.
Where like, hey, if you are a bad dude, like I don't want you in my rosters.
I just can't enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like even when they're having a great day, it's still in the back of my head, so I have a hard time enjoying it.
And I said, I was like, I know people that play that way, and that's you. And like I don't ever play that way.
It's a handicap. Like it's not advised to do that if you want to win at all costs. Yep. I can't do that. So I
said the same thing. I was like, if you play that way, just know you're playing behind the 8 ball and you have a harder time to win.
Right. Okay.
But like for me, I always look at it as like I just try to focus on the game itself, right? Like because the facts are like there's probably a ton of bad dudes on the field that do things that you don't know about. You give young people a ton of money, and I'm sure they find themselves doing some stuff and paying people off and doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So I really try to focus on the game because it's what we play, right? We play a game called fantasy football. We just take it to another level with Dynasty. So like even like when the Browns had the Turfberg, like when I was on the field, I mean I had Browns season tickets. I was telling this Andrew, like I never said that person's name. It was always like, come on, Ford, let's do something here, right? Like I'm rooting for the team. I'm rooting for the number more so. And then of course there's players like Nick Chubb that you fall in love with the actual person as well. But for the most part, if somebody's bad, like yeah, I can look by that because I know somebody like got in trouble. They had to backpedal and apologize by saying because it's like, buy the dip on Quinshon Judkins, right? And it's like in my head I'm going like, why do you have to apologize? Like you're not saying like you support it. They had to go through this long rant of why they have to be more in touch with people's feelings. It's like, dude, we're playing a game called fantasy. Like you're not rooting for that individual like success in life. All you care is about what is between the hashes, right? Now I know you take it in love or you can't get by that.
Yeah. I was just saying, some people can compartmentalize that. Some people cannot, and I'm a person that cannot.
I understand it, and I respect it. You're more respectable for me, but again, I'm always just focused on winning the game itself. Right. And like if I have to be the ogre in the game, like whatever, like it is what it is. So doesn't mean I obviously would never promote anything like
Yes, that's
I think
yep.
I still think Tyreek Hill is a terrible human being. Like I thought Adrian Peterson was a terrible human being. And for the most part, as a society, it's very easy to bypass because nowadays. Here's the thing: just because you feel that for that moment, I promise you, for the most part, you won't feel that way in a couple of years. People are still today talking about Tyreek Hill getting on the roster. People talk about Joe Mixon and him being on the roster. These are all people who have done pretty bad things that we know about. And there's many more. So it sucks. It's it's kind of hard not to ever have something like that. You know, like people would rush. I saw when the news of Henry Ruggs potentially getting out early. I saw
people rushed out. I saw
20 waiver claims of people with Henry Ruggs. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, does it get any worse than that? Of what everybody's done? Like, it's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad for sure.
So, I guess right now, like, I would say, you could think I'm a terrible person for, like, if there's a dip, like, I had somebody who we know mutually texted me, like, hey, how do you feel about Quinshon Judkins? Or on Twitter, and they said, he's available at 112. I was like, swoop him up. Crap, that's great value. Like, grab him. Like, worst case scenario is probably 6 games he's going to miss, and he's 21 years old. It's going to get better. So if you play the way Matt plays, I respect it. You're a better person than me, you know. But like, I think it's better for everybody if we could just focus in on the game itself and not really look at these people or these players, right? Like, same thing. Like, oh, like I can take another look. Oh, how many I own Tom Brady on my roster. Like, I don't own Tom Brady. You know, like that's a very kind of negative tone to it even. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
But like, it's a game. These are pieces of the game that we're playing, and I think it's probably better for all of us in anything, even in sports. Just really compartmentalize on that.
I get it. I would love to be able to, and I still can't. So.
Well, you're a guy.
And I'm a numbers person too. Yeah. Like, I should theoretically just be able to strip everything away and be able to focus on the numbers, but I just can't. So
no, I get it. I mean, I probably wouldn't invest in a stock of people doing bad things either. But like, I'm already in this game. I'm not a stock market guy, so I get it. And if somebody says, Rich, you're wrong for that, and that's how you feel, I totally respect it. I really do. I have nothing to say negatively on it.
No,
but like,
difference of opinions. That's what makes the world go around. You know what I mean? There's no two people that are going to have the exact same opinions on everything.
Okay.
And that's the world that we all live in, and I wish more people would realize that, and you know what I mean. Like, everyone's out there pushing their own ideas. Everyone's got their own ideas. Yeah. Everyone's an individual. Like, everyone's gonna have their own kind of own thoughts. And that's okay. It's
something I've preached. I mean, since you and I have been friends since we're in high school, I preach. I mean, I got literally the word unity tattooed across my back because I'm a big like, let everybody be themselves and be yourself in the purest form, as long as you're not causing hate or harm to somebody else. I think I've said in this podcast, like, if you hate a certain kind of person, you know, like if I hate Ravens fans, or like, for example, I hate the University of Michigan, right?
Okay.
Not a big fan.
I can get in on this.
I don't like to the purest form. There's not a single thing I like about them. When I see them, it truly brings like this. Like, when I walk by in Ohio, I see somebody wearing a like Michigan jersey. Like, it bothers me. Like, it turns my stomach a little. Like, oh, I hate that. Like,
but they probably feel very similar to
100%
to us about that. You know, so
but,
it's like, fine, that's cool.
I'm not going to keep it. I'm not going to say something to them. I'm going to keep that to myself. And if I did say something, it would have to be in jest and lighthearted. Like, oh, go Buckeyes, right? Not like, oh, Michigan,
right? You
got to go.
You're not going to physically harm that person because
that's silly.
Because you don't like Michigan.
Oh,
right.
It's so silly. Right. So like, just live your life, man. Like, be happy in what makes you happy, right? Like, if something makes you happy, just indulge as much as like, I love Dynasty fantasy football. It makes me happy.
Immerse yourself.
Right. I love my kids. I love my wife. I love my friends. I love beautiful days. I love snowboarding. You know, I love
beautiful days too.
Right? Like, so I want to like immerse myself in as much like, and just enjoy those moments and know that you're going to have bad days and bad moments and like, just get through them. Like, I tell my kids to this day what your dad told you, what you told me back in high school was the best saying ever. Do you know what I'm going to say?
I do.
Don't sweat the small stuff, and everything's the small stuff.
Everything's small stuff. No big deal. I don't think my dad told me that. I think I just told you that.
I thought you told me that your dad told you that.
I can't remember where I heard. I think it was like a movie quote.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been saying the wrong thing for the last 30 years then.
I think that's a movie quote.
All right, well, yeah.
But I still like it. Either way.
Don't
sweat the small stuff. Everything's small stuff. No big deal.
I was like, Matt O'Hara always told me that. Don't sweat the small stuff. And I tried to like live by that. And it's like, dude, there's always tomorrow, right? Like, even when I have a really bad day, I'm like, there's always tomorrow.
Yep.
And I'm just going to wake up and I'm at the best day.
Hit that reset button.
It's why I have such a bad memory, because I really do just like live in the moment. Like that day is like the day. Like I'm gonna enjoy this day. I'm in the most fun as possible.
I'm not a planner. My wife is the planner. I also am very in the moment.
I can't plan anything, but it like affects my memory. Like since I've changed that, like it's hard for me to remember a lot of things. So, well, anyways, that's a long ramble.
I was gonna say, how did we even get on
Quinshon Judkins?
Quinshon Judkins. I can't remember.
Dummy.
I can't remember. Yeah. So that's. I'm not. I'm not buying the dip personally, but I get that you will. And and to your original point, why can't Browns fans have something nice?
Never.
It's never.
Go to my X page. It's pinned. If you haven't seen it, I go through a 10-minute rant about being how it is to be a Browns fan. 10 minutes.
Just never.
This is to the list. It just never stops. We're always in the headlines, and it's never for anything good. It's been going on for my entire life. I'm 45 years old.
Any bump to Dylan Sampson here? I mean, obviously, he's the guy that we would be talking about as a potential long-term backup. Obviously, Jerome Ford immediately is going to get some sort of bump.
Jerome Ford sucks.
But for the beginning of the season, he's going to be getting carries, dude.
So if we're going to shed this to a dynasty perspective,
yeah,
what wins here? It's going to be your Dylan Sampson, because most likely, first of all, I'm a big fan.
If there's a crease, he's the grease.
If there's a crease, he's the grease, baby. Right there between Nick Petonio, Wyatt Teller. I don't know why I got to do a country slang when I say it, but I don't say grease.
It's
I just say down south.
Joel Petonio, by the way, not Nick Petonio.
Listen, man, if there's a crease, he's the grease.
I don't know. Are you even a fan of this team?
I don't know why I am. I suffer so much. I suffer.
I know.
It's like the person that walks around back like the Game of Thrones that whip themselves with like the leash, and they're whipping themselves like the.
Is that
sin or
is
something?
That the shame people? No.
I think it has something to do with those people.
It's been a long time since I watched Game of Thrones.
But anyway, go back to the grease. Dylan Sampson, where, most likely, I know you have cases like Jordan Addison, all these people that have like these court cases, and people are like, well, they're not suspended yet. The NFL does not mess around with domestic violence. Those come down pretty quickly to suspension.
They made it sound like it's going like he can go on the commissioner's exempt list. He can't go on the paid leave thing until he signs a deal, but he can go on the commissioner's exempt list now, and he likely will be very soon.
So say that turns into 6 games, which is usually the case. In the worst case, 4. 6 games is half your regular season.
Yep.
That gives you Dylan Sampson as most likely a person. When we talk about the 4th round run of running backs, the Jaden Blues, got guys along those lines, Cam Scadaboos. Dylan Sampson was in that mix as well. And this was after the Browns started taking a running back in the 2nd round. Right. Not a position need. They could have re-signed Nick Chubb, which I heard they were going to re-sign Nick Chubb if they did not draft Dylan Sampson. But didn't work out that way. So Dylan Sampson to me is a very talented running back in the passing game. And again, I like him between the tackles, hence my slogan.
I know I didn't like him as much in that particular between the tackles as you did. But he's going to get opportunity now. We all know what Jerome Ford is, and he's a guy that you can get by for a couple of games, but he's not like
he's a backup running back.
He's not a long-term kind of viable option. I guess it's unknown right now if Dylan Sampson is more than a fill-in guy, right? I mean, he's a fourth round draft pick can really go either way at the running back position. So is he not an overly big guy? So neither one of these guys is going to be a 215, 220 pound guy. So I think the Browns, as much as they want to be this like big time power running game, it's going to be more difficult now, and this is going to be it's going to be a hard offense kind of to figure out here at the beginning of the season.
Lot 12 personnel, keep stuff short, but I think the value. I think what I like about Dylan Sampson and what's going to happen in Dynasty is 4 to 6 games is a lot of games, right? And if he gets the touches, he's going to produce. And say he's like running back like 16, that's going to be like even call him running back 20. 19, somewhere in those lanes. But I think the PBR value could really kind of boost his value. That is going to be you're getting Dylan Sampson in the back end of the 2nd round, 3rd round of your rookie draft. Say you got him in the 3rd round of your rookie draft, back into the 2nd. When he's producing, we see there's more likely than not you'll be able to turn Dylan Sampson into, here's Dylan Sampson plus this for your 1st.
Yeah.
Here's Dylan Sampson plus this for this player, right? It will work because people will need running back help. Running back players drop. And don't tell me that does not exist, because I saw it with Jordan Mason of San Francisco last year. I saw people giving away 1st-round picks for Jordan Mason because they had to start him for like 6 games.
Yeah, but
potentially longer.
But I was going to say, I think the thought was this could be a more long-term issue because no one knew exactly.
Is it going to come back?
Yeah, when CMC was going to come back, and there's going to be a hard date when Quinshon Judkins comes back. So, so I think that is going to be a little bit more. It's going to be a harder of a sell for people. But
we've seen scenarios like this play out before too. With like, the most recent one I will say is Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, right?
Yeah.
These running backs that get drafted high, and then the guy who got drafted behind them. And I think Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones would be a great comp to this situation, right? Now, I think Quinshon Judkins is way more. I think he's a very talented running back.
Yeah, agreed.
But like, if Dylan Sampson can establish himself in this offense and look good, they won't just. He's not just going to disappear.
No,
right?
No, he's totally not. And that's what I was going to say. He would have to really impress with his opportunity. And at that point, do you even want to sell him? You know what I mean? Like,
no,
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's going to be a window. This is value.
This is they want to run the ball.
100%.
So if he impresses, all the stuff, the negative stuff's going on with Quinshon Judkins, I wouldn't just deal him. I would think, hey, this might be the long term.
We saw this almost 10 years ago, even in Cleveland as well. I used the most recent one in Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones, when Jamal Williams, I think, was that second or third round, and then Aaron Jones went later out of UTEP.
I think he was like fifth or something like that.
Okay, yeah. In Cleveland, we saw Terrence West get drafted in the third round, and then Isaiah Correll got drafted he was undrafted free agent. And he had really good tape. He was somebody actually we talked about on the podcast, and he ended up supplanting the third round pick pretty quickly. So I think Dylan Sampson's in line for a nice boost, whether you keep him or not, and kind of put you ahead, or I think you're going to be able to 100% sell him for what you didn't get. Even if it's like, hey, dude, I'll give you Dylan Sampson and my second for your first. Something on those lines, I can give you a bump. And say you went to 27 first. Get back in that draft class. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know how far we've been talking.
I know in 15 minutes. Yeah, it's about 15 minutes. But just real quick, Garrett Wilson obviously signed some huge deal. 4 years. I don't have the numbers in front of you. 130 million.
90 million guaranteed.
Yeah. So
doesn't change anything.
Doesn't change anything. I think we saw it coming either way. So I don't think his value changes. But I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah. Never doubt. You don't let players that's the thing. You talk about free agency. The good players don't go anywhere. They don't walk.
There were at times when the Aaron Rodgers stuff was going weird. There was chatter about him being traded. That's
chatter by who? Who knows?
Exactly.
But guess what? He's now got 6 years on a deal. Don't worry about year 4. He's gonna be like, I'm holding out. I need a new deal. I'm drastically underpaid.
I mean, Terry McLaurin could be next up and could be leapfrogging him. You know what I mean? Like that's the way
these 31. It's gonna be hard to be leapfrogging.
That's the way these markets work, though. They don't give a crap that they're 31. They look at the production.
But then we still this Mike Evans deal, so we're like, yeah, you're making the money, but it's like phony baloney, like a year.
I mean,
or 2.
Well, I'm sure Terry's looking for guarantees right here.
I'm sure
because he's 31 years.
I'm looking for guarantees.
Are there guarantees?
I don't know, dude. Right. I'm just trying to be guaranteed to see tomorrow, please. Come on, I want to live. Anyways. Way deep in the show.
Yep. Haven't even got to the topic yet.
We are doing today's show. I feel like we should.
We are doing today's show.
If we go back in hindsight, I'd pivot to tomorrow's show. We're just doing the rank debate because that's much shorter than what we're about to do.
We can always pivot. I don't care.
Could we pivot?
I don't care.
Should we? Do you have the information in front of you?
Sure.
Let's pivot.
All right, pivot.
We haven't put the show title out yet.
Nope.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we're pivoting. Tomorrow's show is going to be a little different. We are actually, this show is now, if you read the title, we've totally been the show plan on doing tomorrow's show. But this show is now rank debate, where Garrett and I do this a lot on the Nerd Herd. Once a quarter, we'll go through our rankings and kind of debate why we have a player where they're at overall. So I'm going to get out my phone here, too, so I can actually look at my rank set and this Google sheet.
Yeah.
So what we do is we have a list of players here, and we have them ranked differently. And we're going to talk that out. And then tomorrow's show will be Boom or Bust, which you got to tune in for that because I think it's going to be a good show. There's some players I'm pretty excited to talk about.
Totally.
That's why I was like, dude, that'd be so much better because I had 5 guys I wanted to mention. So I got 5 guys I'm going to mention here in Boom or Bust. But this is ranked debate. So first on the list, Matt, you know what? Before we get into this, so we have no breaks, nonstop. No stopping on these breaks.
I'm
gonna go premature.
That's good. That's great because this is gonna give me a second to pull up my ranks.
I'm gonna give you time.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you time.
Since the pivot, we had to move some stuff. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with some promos here. I'm gonna tell you about our friends over at FastDraft. They got those rabbits going on right now where you can draft a whole team in 20 minutes, and they're not taking any rake whatsoever. So you got this big prize pool, and there's no rake, right? Best ball. Like we talk about earlier how the NFL season's right upon us, and I've said all summer, like, I love to fill my summer. If I open my phone up right now, I'm in best ball drafts. Like, I love to keep that itch scratched by keep drafting fantasy football teams. And best ball gives you the opportunity to get in there, draft a team, and then set it, forget it. At the end of the year, you can see whoever scored the most points to get the win, get the big win. And right now at FastDraft, you get these rabbit drafts, and you can win like $50,000, and they're not taking any rake. Why? Because it's a newer best ball site. And right now, they are doing everything they can to help the users. And what I love about FastDraft is, like, right now, there are more players in there in these contests that are just like you, getting introduced to best ball. Not all these pros that are using algorithms on other sites. You have a legit chance to win. So get out there, use the promo code NERDS, because if you do, they're going to match your deposit up to $50. But as long as you deposit at least $10 and play in a game, they're going to hook you up for listening to us and taking our advice. And they're going to give you the opportunity to get a free 1-year sub, the Dynasty Nerds, the Dynasty GM bundle, the Nerd Herd, all that. So you're going to get the bonus podcast, the Dynasty GM app, which we're constantly working on expanding. I know you've heard me say that we hire new developers to make things happen quick. We're really working hard to get these all done by the end of by football season. Early September is what we're talking about. But, like, listen, developing's hard. That's why I hired more people. So we have a lot of cool stuff coming. In the offseason, we got the best rookie content. You'll get the Dynasty Nerds film room, where you can watch all 22 film of every player that's eligible to be drafted.
So cool, by the way. Such a fun tool.
Such a great tool. The Nerd Herd, the Nerd Score Plus, and so much more. All you have to do is deposit at least $10. I encourage $50, so you get a free $50. Have some fun, win some cash, and get a free year here. Get the Dynasty GM in the App Store and see if it makes you a better Dynasty player. I promise you it does. And then I can't be done with my promotion of awesome places to go spend your money on without talking about myffpc.com. You know, Matt and I were talking about it earlier, actually, before the show. We were talking about, like, man, like, what if you lived, like, in Idaho and, like, you just got a raise and, you know, you wanted to, like, and, like, I'm not talking about, like, Boise. I'm talking about, like, somewhere where, like, you're growing all the potatoes, right? And there's this, if you're going to grow a lot of potatoes, that's a lot of land need around you. You don't have a lot of people to communicate with.
There's not a lot of people around you because it's all potatoes.
Why do you think Mr. Potato Head came out of somewhere, right? Like, sitting there putting googly eyes on people having a conversation. Where's your missus? Here she is.
You cannot start a dynasty league with Mr. and Mrs. Potato. You just can't.
I bet you do well. I bet you would do well.
Hopefully you would
put
dominate.
Put them on auto draft. And, like,
I mean, maybe a best ball league.
Maybe a best ball league. Yeah, you're right. But, like, even doing, like, our roster rescues, like, we reviewed for the first time I ever saw it, 8-man leagues. 2 of them. I didn't even know those existed. Like, I don't even like 10-man leagues, right? But, like, I understand sometimes you can't just find, if you want to play in a local league, there's not enough people like, hey, you want to play Dynasty? Like, what's Dynasty? I don't want to play that. That's dumb, you know? Right. Until they get hooked to it. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, I need more leagues, baby. And that's where my FFPC comes in, right? Like, say you're in an 8-man league. You're like, this is ridiculous. I want to play in a 12-man league. I also want to play in a Superflex league. And I also want to play for more cash than $50 or $25, which is all Larry down the street can afford. I'm tired of Larry and his broke-ass ways. I'm trying to win some bank here. I listen to Nerds podcast all the time. I am just in flux with Dynasty information. I'm ready to dominate with, like, a dominatrix kind of style. I got this paddle. I got this red ball to shove in somebody's mouth. Let's get to it.
Go to bed, Larry.
Go back to bed, Larry. If you ever meet me in person, ask me about the go back to bed Larry story. It's fantastic.
It is.
But my FPC is going to give you the opportunity, right? It's going to let you expand your Dynasty portfolio with better than anything else out there to offer, because it gives you, it's the only place I know that offers security, right? These leagues never fold. They have never folded since they incorporated myffpc.com at all. So you're guaranteed to, like, hey, if I'm a trade for the future and I'm in a $500 league, a $1,000 league, a $2,000 league, man, I don't want to trade all my good players and draft picks away and build for 2027 like they're telling me to, and then the league folds because, like, my team's so good in 2027, like, league folds. Like, I don't want that.
Nope, that'd be
cool. You have security. So check them out, myffpc.com. You got to use that promo code NERDZO so they know we sent you, because if they do, they're going to give you a free $25. And yes, in a $2,500 league or so, that's not much. It's a measly, like, 1%. But in a $75 league, that's like 33%.
Bam.
Yeah, look
You're
at
good
me.
you're good at math.
Look at me, getting a new degree. So check them out. Use that promo code. And listen, we'll be talking about them forever because they've been a partner for a while. When in offseason, they have these great deals on the orphans. But right now, they have new leagues. Check them out. Join a league. Have fun. Dominate.
Triflex? They got the Triflex.
RotoViz, Superflex, Tribe, Curtis Patrick's all up in that business. So anyways, rankings debate. Let's start at the top, Matt, shall we?
Let us start.
Garrett went through our rankings, and he said, hey, guys, this is where you guys are different. And the first player that we have is Jalen Hurts. Matt, I currently have him as QB7, and you have him as QB3.
Yeah, that seems a bit high, right? When you look at it.
It really does, if I'm being honest with you. That's why I'm a QB7, because to me, like, listen, I understand there's a guy here, too, that you would want to put him ahead of.
Sure. So the ADP right now is he's at QB5. So it's basically right between you and I. I think you're a little bit probably low. I'm a little bit high. He probably I think this is one of those ones where the ADP is probably a little bit more true and a little bit more right.
Okay.
As far as but you look at Jalen Hurts, he's 26 years old.
Almost, he's basically 27. He turns 27 next month.
All right.
So he's not 26.
He's 26. He'll be playing 27 this year, but he's 1 year removed away from being the QB2 and then 2 years away from being the QB3. And last year, on a year where...
What did he accomplish that last year that was so special, Matt?
Well, last year he was QB8.
He won a Super Bowl, damn it.
He won a Super Bowl. He did that with them running the crap out of the ball, right?
Correct.
That's kind of where he took his step back. And I think this is where there may be a little bit of an overreaction in perception out there. I think that's what worked last year, right? I don't know that that's going to work 100% this year. That depends on a lot of things, right? That depends on Saquon Barkley staying fully healthy or them wanting to work him that much again. And it's not like Saquon Barkley's like some spring chicken. He's been around for a while. I don't know that they want to get him as many carries as they did last year. So there might be a little bit heavier reliance on a guy like Jalen Hurts this year than there was last year. And so I'm not ready to freak out. While I think QB3 might be a little bit high and there's probably some guys I can move ahead.
Yeah, you probably should get in there and do a little dabbling.
I think QB7 is a little bit low.
Okay. Well, I disagree.
Okay.
And I strongly disagree. And the counterpoint, everything you just said, yeah, they did rely on Saquon Barkley last year a lot. And they liked it so much, they extended him unprecedentedly where they had just signed him and they extended him and gave him a bigger deal. That's how good it was. And know why I feel like they're going to kind of still rely on that same kind of system? It's because they won the Super Bowl and it worked.
They won the Super Bowl and it worked. I think that's a great, in theory, type of move. I think, yes, if everything is perfect, they're going to try to do the same thing. How many times has Saquon Barkley stayed healthy for an entire season in his career?
Stop living the past, Matt. Stop living the past.
He
had that doo-doo offensive line. He's getting banged up. Now he's got a good offensive line.
He actually didn't even stay healthy for the whole game. He missed a game last year.
No running back does, though.
Yeah. But listen, I don't. This was an outlier season for Saquon. I don't know if you've seen his stats, but it's 1,300, 1,000, 34 yards, 593, 1,300, 900, 2,000. Like that. I mean, come on, man. That he was by far, in a way, the most carries he's ever had.
Yeah, Matt, he went from a team that was abysmal with no quarterback and an atrocious offensive line with no weapons to a team that does. So, yeah, that's what,
345 attempts, though. You think they can give him 345 attempts again?
I could see him getting more involved in the passing game, which would be better. I think he'd be more utilized there if you don't want to run into tackles.
Well, that's great for Jalen Hurts.
It is. And listen, I have him at 7, so I got to love him, but, I don't know how you have Jalen Hurts ahead of Lamar Jackson, for example, because of how much he dominates. Because I do have that. I had Jalen Hurts higher, but after they signed Saquon, that worried me. I moved him down. I was correct on moving him down there, but for me,
I mean, you say you're correct in moving him down.
I do, and I'm usually
I'm here to say you're not.
I'm usually correct. I just don't know how you put him ahead of Lamar Jackson. I think they already mentioned they do want to give him where even in the second half, we kind of saw it where like Jalen Hurts in the beginning of the year was taking those 1 yard rushes.
Sure.
They, as he gets older, they kind of want to take that back a little bit and do give those to Saquon. So Saquon numbers can go up just on a touchdown regression, positive regression forward. So I can't put him ahead of Lamar Jackson. I think for me, I have Justin Herbert ahead of him just because I love Justin Herbert. I think he's a much better quarterback.
I think he's a much better quarterback.
You're right. I think this is the year Justin Herbert finally established himself as a legit.
When has Justin Herbert ever done anything from a fantasy perspective other than just be good? Like, he's never been great.
Listen, if I could live in the past, Matt, I'd be the best fantasy football player of all time. My job is to look into the future.
Quarterback 9, 2, 11, 17, 12. He's just the 1 year where he was number 2. That's great. That's perfect. Where the hell has he been since then?
I'm going to tell you something. 2 names.
You think Jim Harbaugh's offense,
Lad and Amarian,
Jim Harbaugh's
changing the whole dynamic.
Run first offense is gonna boost him up?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I have Joe Burrow ahead of him.
Listen, that's warranted.
Very warranted.
That's one of the guys that I would say I need to move up.
Well, okay. Justin Herbert's my guy ahead of him. I really have low idea how anybody would have Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow behind Jalen Hurts. And then here's another name that I moved up sneakily ahead of Jalen Hurts. My quarterback 6, right ahead of Jalen Hurts. I moved Caleb Williams up. And I know he hasn't done anything yet.
Listen, man.
I know he hasn't done anything yet.
Come on.
Look, hear me out. Hear me out.
All right.
Hear me out.
Let's hear it. I'm going to go search down. He's like QB 16 last year in his rookie season.
I agree. Listen,
All
again,
right.
my job is not to live in the past, man.
I understand
My job
that.
as an analyst is to predict the future and find people, the right players to draft for long-term
Did
success.
you also watch Caleb Williams at all last year?
I know that they bolstered that offensive line tremendously.
Okay.
And I know they just drafted Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. Roma Dunes is going to be fully injected, and DJ Moore. I think they...
What is he injected with?
Ben Johnson's offense. It's called a BJ. All right. He's injected with
Fudge.
a BJ offense.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
And I don't know about you.
I don't know how-
Any which way the pendulum swings, a BJ offense is the kind of you're moving in the right direction of success. I promise you. When it's
that's
all
the kind of offense
when the game's all over,
everyone wants to be in.
you're going to be happy with the end result. Okay? So, yes, Caleb Williams, risky business here taking over Jalen Hurts.
That's
But listen,
silly. In my
sometimes
opinion.
you got to put on sunglasses and be Tom Cruise and get risky business. Now, other arguments. I think a player very close. I think after this year that will establish himself close to Jalen Hurts. Then thinks now again everything else is moot. Can have him behind him. I can see by midseason, Jordan Love. Jordan Love.
I knew you were going to say that. I was just messing with you.
So, and I think, listen, Brock Purdy, when you talk about consistency, he's like quarterback 6 every single year. So, that's a dip value. So that's where we differ. Again, we're only I hate when me and Garrett have these debates where you have him quarterbacks 3 and I'm 7, like we're 4 slots off. I think we met in the middle, the 5. It's a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. You slot ahead of them. I move Caleb Williams, Justin Herbert behind, and boom, ADP sandwich.
Yep. We're an ADP.
I mean, who doesn't like sandwiches?
Yeah. I mean,
Communist.
Why don't they like?
Because the government won't let them have them. Just a bread, no meat, son.
All right, jeez.
And what's a sandwich without cheese unless you're lactose intolerant? For real.
I've had plenty of sandwiches without cheese.
I know.
You know what I
have too, but they're not as good.
You know what I had today? I haven't had, and no one is going to know this reference unless you're like from Euclid. I had chili peppers today.
Oh, dude, so good.
So good.
Dude, burritos. I mean, to be fair, if you're listening, if you don't like a burrito, communist.
That's what made me think of it because I knew you were going to say that.
If you don't like burritos,
because I knew you were going to say that.
It's a you problem, not a big burrito problem. All right. So let's move on to the next one here.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
So I have this next player ranked at 20th overall.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're way off here. I have him as wide receiver 7.
Yeah.
You have him 36 overall.
Surely.
As wide receiver 14. And that is Drake London.
Yeah. Yeah. This one seems like this one is an oversight by me.
I love how Garrett goes, Matt, go in your rankings. We're about to do this show. Make sure you're right. And I get it. It's July, bro. I get it.
It just did not stick out like a sore thumb. Listen, I don't know what it is. I think it's because there were some things about Drake London's game when he came into the NFL that I was concerned about.
Here we go again.
He's gotten over it.
Call Martin McFly.
He's gotten over it. No, he's somebody I need to adjust up my board. So I don't know that we need to spend a lot of time here. I think, again, ADP is kind of in between us, a little bit closer to you than me on this one. But I do need to move Drake London up. He is
wide receiver 5 overall last year.
he was wide receiver 5 last year overall. Listen, Malik Neighbors missed some time. CeeDee Lamb wasn't himself for part of that year. So there's some guys that I think are behind him that are, obviously going to take a jump and probably be ahead of him this coming season. So, but 5 seems a little aggressive, or wide receiver 7 seems a little aggressive for me. I will have him within my top 12 for sure, probably top 10.
Okay. Here's why I don't think it's aggressive. There's a strong part. So here's 2 things here. I'm going to say this. I kind of feel him too low.
You think you're too low on Drake London?
Yeah. What do you think I'm aggressive? Here's why. This is a player that we saw take a massive step last year. Has a draft pedigree, right? We talk about how the Garrett Wilson extension, we knew it's coming. Mm-hmm. He's going to get paid 100% in this offense. We saw when Michael Penix came into the game, him taking his game to another level. Michael Penix is insulated. The fact that where they drafted him, put him in over Kirk Cousins, he's there for a while. So he's have some good quarterback play.
He had a bonkers game week 18.
He did.
Which is what pushed him up to that spot.
Fair. Weeks 1 through 17, Drake London was wide receiver 10 overall. Okay. So fair. I'll take him. That's the regular season. I usually go off that. So wide receiver 10 overall. Drake London, to me, is a player that I was talking to my buddy about this. I was like, if you had to ask me what sneaky wide receiver, not Justin Jefferson, not Jamar Chase, who's going to be wide receiver 1 overall, and to me, it's Drake London. I think his touchdown regression is going to go positive. And here's the big thing, and this is and it's funny where
so he had 9 last year. You think he's going to?
I think he's going to hit double-digit touchdowns this year. And I think he's going to get more yards.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's only 1 more. You gave an arrow going way up.
No, I said it's positive regression, which is more.
I don't know if that term is being used correctly, but okay.
1 + 1 is 2. It's not a lot more, but it's more.
Maybe it is, and I'm wrong, and I just have that backwards in my brain.
So
regression seems to be a thing that goes.
So
backwards.
Here's why I think I'm too low on Drake London at 7. Is he's got everything that I want out of a dynasty receiver. He's got the draft
pedigree for sure.
He's got the quarterback connection that for long term right now. He's got nothing around him right now at all.
Nothing
at all.
Nothing of note. I mean, took a running back, which is great.
Yes, he took a massive step forward in his 3rd year. A massive. So we see, and what do I love is the traditional 3rd year breakout, which was Drake London saw it. And more importantly, why I think I have him too low is he just turned 23 years old.
Super young.
This month. Mm-hmm. So why do I have him too low is I have him right behind Marvin Harrison Jr., which he's only 1 month older than Marvin Harrison Jr., but he's shown us what he can do. And then he's in that range of Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, that range. And so when I say I have him, I'm too low, I'm totally okay if somebody had him at 5 or 6. I would totally feel comfortable there with Drake London. I'm honestly I think maybe potentially after Drake London's the perfect example, Matt, of what looks like an overpay today is an underpay tomorrow.
So he just turned 23. Amon's 25 in 8 months.
CeeDee Lamb is 26 in 3 months.
So we'll talk about this guy in a little bit here. Actually, the next guy. I need to put him above A.J. Brown.
Easily over A.J. Brown for me. By a large step.
I mean, it's a 5-year difference.
Yes.
For those guys.
Ladd McConkey's over A.J. Brown for me.
That to me, I'm not there with Ladd yet.
Okay, well, I was there before he even got there.
I know you are. I think they brought in some players, Trey, if he ever signs.
Puka, Garrett Wilson over A.J. Brown pretty easily for me. Brian Thomas over A.J. Brown. Jackson Smith and Jigba over A.J. Brown. Nico Collins over A.J. Brown. The list goes on and on for me. Again, and for me, it has nothing to do with A.J. Brown's skill set, but we play Dynasty, right? The fact that A.J. Brown just turned 28 years old, okay, we're not probably most likely that last 3-year window. Give me the years of equal production or close to it.
I get it.
I'd rather have a wide receiver 1 that's wide receiver 7, for example, for 8 years compared to wide receiver 5 for 3 years.
And so let's look at these guys together. Drake London, you have him at wide receiver 7, and A.J. Brown, you have him at wide receiver 16. I have Drake London at wide receiver 14 and A.J. Brown at 9, at wide receiver 9. So we're kind of flip-flopped on those 2 guys.
Yeah,
so
you're way wrong on this.
I think it makes sense to look at those 2 guys. I'm not going to overreact and move a guy that's in his prime, AJ Brown, super far down, like you're talking, but I am moving Drake London immediately, like as we're talking above him, because he definitely deserves that.
Above Drake Brown above AJ Brown?
Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say, because I want you to close your eyes. If you had Drake London and I offered you AJ Brown, you accepted it, like, oh, well, that's a pretty bad trade.
So that is for sure.
Okay.
What I'm trying to figure out is where Drake London falls with guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, who just signed this mega deal, only 24 years old, so he's like 1 year older than when Drake London, but hasn't maybe had the high-end finish that Drake London has. That's what I need to figure out, is those couple guys. I could see taking him over Amon because, Amon-Ra St. Brown's got more mouths to feed in that offense, and there's a little bit of uncertainty not knowing what's going on with Ben Johnson. So I feel pretty comfortable going above him, but I think Garrett Wilson in general is just a better player.
I think Garrett Wilson's better. That's why I'm higher than him. And let me tell you this: I'm gonna give you a couple names here. Where
I've gotten. Where do you have Drake London?
I have Drake London at 7.
Oh, all right. I just got him at 7.
No, honestly,
that's fine.
That's not bad. Like literally, if you're a nerd, remember, and you listen to these shows. Just me and Garrett do these shows once a quarter because we like it. We talk this out. Every player we talk about, we end up adjusting our rankings. One of us ends up adjusting our rankings, if not both of us.
But I can't move him up higher than that.
I haven't either.
Okay. You're saying you think you want to, and like I thought you were going to start doing it. Like I don't think that.
I think by the end of the year, I think I will. Is what I'm saying. I think he'll get there. What I'm saying is like.
Well, listen, Marvin Harrison is above Garrett Wilson for me, and he could come down. You know what I mean? If he doesn't produce this year, he could come down some spots, and that'll just naturally bring up Drake London. But I have Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson all above.
And that's what I feel like. And the fact that they're the same age, it's like, man, if I was a startup, would I take Drake London over Marvin Harrison? Like, I'm that close, right? But like other guys,
they're a month.
So go back to AJ Brown because we're going next, right, sure. Matt? Like, here's players that I have. Tell me if you disagree. Puka ahead of AJ Brown?
I do not have Puka ahead. I understand why you would do that.
Okay. Brian Thomas.
100%.
Okay.
Yep.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I have Jackson Smith like right behind him.
Why? He's 23 years old. AJ Brown last year finished as wide receiver 16, weeks 1 through 17. Jackson Smith and Jigba finished as wide receiver 7. He had a third-year breakout, just like that. You're getting 5 years younger, or a little over 5 years younger, for a player whose tape we liked a ton. We think is a very talented receiver who's also the main guy in their offense.
Well, I mean, last year, A.J. Brown, it's not like he played a full season either. He played 13 games. Okay. So, I mean, I think from a points per game basis, it's not like he fell off a cliff or anything like that.
That's fair.
He's still a very good player. I think he finished as if you're looking at just points per game, I think he finished at 12.
He finished at 12, right ahead of Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Right. So I don't think that's what I mean. Like A.J. Brown, I think there's been some overreaction to the fact that he finished there. He missed 3 games. He's fine. He has the same points per game as Brian Thomas. He's just a little older. He's 28. I'm not ready to.
But that's a big significant. But here's the thing. You're right. I'm not arguing again. So I'm not arguing that A.J. Brown is bad in the least bit. But if I think he's very similar on a points per game basis to Jackson Smith and Jigba, Garrett Wilson,
I get it.
Puka Nacua, those guys, I'm just going to take the year. You know what I mean? Like we talk all the time. Like that's the best dynasty strategy you can have. Like
it is a good. I mean,
and what do?
He's a more capable and dominant player, more capable player of dominating a game, though.
Correct.
So that's why I'm hesitant to move him down, because you might get some crazy monster games out of a guy like A.J. Brown.
Matt, but like this isn't redraft we're playing. Like we're trying to like that. What's the key to long-term success in Dynasty? It's identifying those players where you can keep getting younger on there on the same basis, right? Like, again, I have no disparaging things at all to say about AJ Brown. He's elite of elite, but like now he's finally entering that window for me. That's like a sell window. Now, every team is different where you're at, but like anytime I can make a lateral move, I've talked about this on the podcast before in Dynasty.
28's an iffy year for wide receivers.
It is. He might have 4 more years.
That's the thing, right? He could have 4 more years. He could have 2 more years.
You're right.
So maybe that's where our disconnect is, right? So maybe I'm seeing him in this 4-year window, which just feels comfy and fine.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you might be seeing him in a 2-year window. And that if I saw him in a 2-year window, I'd be sliding him back. I just feel like he's a guy he's got the type of body and frame that can just keep kind of has a little bit longer, has a little bit more in him.
He just has nowhere to go but down. So like you mentioned, he did miss 3 games last year. He did finish as wide receiver 16.
Right.
If that happens again, it's all about perspective. He misses 3 games, finishes wide receiver 16, points per basis still just fine. His dip is going to, like his value is going to drop.
Sure.
And from this point forward, once
his
he's 29,
value's not going anywhere but down.
Exactly.
But it's already gone down. That's why he's there. You know what I mean? For me, like he was up higher and he's starting to slide down, but he hasn't started the slide as aggressively for me.
For me, it's like any player that hits that 28. Like, now, granted, he just turned 28, right? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But knowing for how long we played Dynasty, right? Going on 23 years of playing the game of Dynasty. Like, we know this is the window where no matter, even if he still produces, right? Like, that value is just going to keep going down every month he plays.
Of course, but this is theoretically the prime of his career.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So my point is, like, when we can get guys that are offering the same points per game, again, I'm not talking about, like, just sell A.J. Brown. The lateral move of the Jackson Smith and Jigba, the Puka Nacua, and honestly, Matt, I think you're indifferent here. Where like I think a lot of other dynasty players probably won't even make this trade. I bet they would decline. They'd probably want a little bit more because they probably feel the same way. If there's a window in my league where like players like you, where like I can get JSN, Garrett Wilson, I can make a lateral move to Drake London, for example, and give a little bit on top. Like that's how I am trying to maintain long-term success. And now all of a sudden I know in 2 years, 2 things. If I'm ready to blow it up, like I don't have to worry about just taking whatever I can get for AJ Brown. I would have like JSN, who's now 25. If I want to blow up, I'm still reaping a big reward there because he's going to be probably insulated. Like the wheels can fall off of anybody, right? But age, just like a young quarterback, top 10, you get that insulation value. Players like that, like, and we don't expect Drake London or JSN or obviously Garrett Wilson with his new contract, their value to dip drastically because they're really good players.
Yeah.
So if I can get any kind of insulation, and only one of the biggest insulation covers that we can get in Dynasty, it is age. You know, it is a big thing. So for me, why do I have AJ Brown there? It's just because he had that mile marker to me at 28. Now, could that mile marker shift potentially? Because we're seeing players do play a little bit longer, like the Derrick Henrys. We'll see what Tyreek Hill could do this year. Maybe 29 becomes that new mile marker. And at the same time, like my rankings are set, Matt, more so for like startups, right?
Sure. No, I get it.
That's what it's for. I'm not saying like if you made that trade, saying it's not a bad trade at all if you want to win. I'm just saying if I'm in a startup, there's no way I'm taking AJ Brown over those guys.
So let me ask you this, because Puka in particular, I've got some concerns about his long-term production. And it all goes back to the quarterback.
Okay.
How much longer does Matt Stafford have? And without Matt Stafford, is Puka Nacua?
I'm with you.
So do you I mean, I know Puka's 24, but do you expect to have 3 more years with Matt Stafford? Or do you expect to have closer to 2 more years?
But then
they're in the same boat. You know what I mean?
If we trust Sean McVay and that offense, right? Just like I trust like Kevin O'Connell,
yeah,
I think he'll make it work, right? So I'm not.
Yeah, you're probably right.
His overall situation is what I like in the coaches. I like that, right? Like same thing. Look what Garrett Wilson's done with no quarterback play. Essentially,
Puka's also pretty injury prone.
You know, look what Jerry Jeudy did last year with not a lot. He is a lot of injury prone, but that's the point we should start bumping down Nico Collins a ton too. And some people think he could be wide receiver 1, and Nico Collins is my wide receiver 13.
I have Nico behind AJ Brown as well, just one spot.
He's my wide receiver 13. And listen, I have Romo Dunze, Travis Hunter ahead of AJ Brown as well, which you could argue is not fair. But when I do my rank set, I do it as a startup value rank set.
So you would take Travis Hunter over AJ Brown in a startup? That's a big risk, man.
But here's the thing. I would pivot to somewhere like overall rank set. Like they're pretty, like not too far. Like I'd probably taken like a tight end running back there in that round anyways. But like, yeah, it's a risk. Let me say this way. I wouldn't draft Travis Hunter as my wide receiver 1. Let me put it that way. But like I have to. So let's say you skipped on wide receiver the first couple of rounds, and AJ Brown's sitting there, Travis Hunter's sitting there. Those are the top 2 guys left on ADP, and you're like, I cannot come out of this round without getting my RB1. I remember my wide receiver 1. You're gonna pick Travis Hunter over AJ Brown? It would depend how the structure of if I weigh down receiver that long, I feel like I would build more of a win now team. But like it really depends on the structure I built. But like, here's the thing. I can't put all the time in of evaluating these rookies that we spend, which is months upon months of watching tape, studying these players.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I think Travis Hunter offers that elite talent.
For sure, but you can't deny the question marks as to how he's going to be utilized. We still don't know.
I don't know. But listen, nobody knows anything how it's going to play out. And like I see a 22-year-old kid that offers elite tier 1 upside. And I know if I take A.J. Brown, I'm not getting Travis Hunter coming back. So what I would do is I would take Travis Hunter there, and instead of missing A.J. Brown, I'm 100%, like when I make moves like that in the startup, for example, I know I'm coming back, and I got to take another receiver pretty damn close and back him up with somebody who's going to be more of a for sure thing. And that for sure thing can be a player like Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, right, who was a wide receiver 1 last year. So there is like, when you make a move like that, I get it. But like if you offered me to now, like in a startup, like again, startups are different than real trades. Like I would prefer Travis Hunter long-term in a startup compared to A.J. Brown. Because like once I draft A.J. Brown, I know now all of a sudden I built a team that's ready. I have to build a team that's ready to win now. There's no like long-term like weight in there to build it
I mean,
up.
I think you're kind of throwing dirt on top of this guy a bit. He's 28 years old.
I get
just
it.
turned 28.
I get, but like my Dynasty startup rank set value-wise.
He's not 28. He's not a
a
28-year-old running back. This is a 28-year-old wide receiver. I think it's different.
he missed 3 games last year.
Okay.
If you're going to bang up Puka, let's start banging up A.J. Brown. And listen, this is my own like I get it.
Sure.
I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm not arguing it. But if you our point here is argue our points why we have this player. So that's all I'm saying is I would rather gamble on the upside of draft pedigree, kind of like we saw the JSN breakout.
I was just trying to see
Roman.
exactly where you're at with him. You know what I mean? And trying to give you that fake scenario of you being on the clock and all that kind of stuff. Because
that's a tough one.
Because that, for me, that a lot of the times is maybe I don't even exactly know how I feel about a player until I'm put in that situation.
But like
in real life, and so you know what I mean. Like that's when the rubber really meets the road. Sometimes with these kind of rankings decisions is when you're on the clock and you're like, I cannot take that guy. I can't
take a 20-year-old receiver over this. I can't. My team's not. Yeah, I can't. But I'll say this because I'm a big I think we're gonna add that in the rank set tiers anyways. I'm a big tier guy.
Yeah.
So like Travis Hunter, Rome Odunze, A.J. Brown, Rashee Rice, Tet McMillan. Those 5 guys to me, I can go any which way you want to take those guys. Yeah. If you took Tet McMillan over A.J. Brown and I have Tet McMillan behind him, I'm okay with that. If you took Rashee Rice, I know it sounds crazy, 25 over A.J. Brown, I'm not going to argue it. And I have Rashee Rice behind
and that's
A.J.
like
Brown.
Roster construction stuff, right? Like, so if you've already got a young guy, maybe you want to go with the older guy. That's more a sure thing. If you don't, you already got a sure guy, you want to go a little bit younger and a little riskier with higher upside.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean.
And then to flip the script, so when I say tier, Ladd McConkey, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, and Nico Collins, for example, there's absolutely no scenario that would take A.J. Brown over those guys under any scenario. So that's why they're like a whole other tier.
That's in a different tier for you.
A different tier.
Yep.
And then Brian Thomas, Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua, another tier for me. And I almost want to throw Marvin Harrison in that tier and put Drake London in the Amon-Ra CeeDee Lamb tier.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's okay, and that makes sense in my brain. I think Puka to me is a hard one for me to nail down. I think Puka for me might be lower in a different tier.
Here's the thing,
and he is because he's lower in my rank even. So that's
I'm with you 100% Puka. Like I'm not the biggest believer in him, but like I can't deny what the kid does.
Dude just balls out.
So I have to have him ranked here.
Like, no, I get it. No, dude just balls out.
I have 0.0 Puka shares.
I also don't have any.
If I was on the clock, I would probably take Garrett Wilson over him.
I have Garrett Wilson over him, so I know I would.
If I have Puka ranked higher, I'd probably take Brian Thomas ahead of him. I got Puka ranked higher.
So I mean,
that's where he deserves to be. Same tier though.
That's where does he deserve to be there? I mean, if you feel like that's not really your rank.
Guess what I'm gonna do after the show, man?
Yeah, maybe drop it.
I'm gonna go in here because there's a couple players we already talked about, like that Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna mess with it. I think I'm gonna move Puka down a little bit.
Yeah.
One day he's gonna spit in my face. Devontae's gonna eat into it. So obviously we're not gonna get through this whole list.
No, we're definitely not. Let's prioritize.
Let's prioritize. What are we at minutes wise on the show?
About 53.
Hey guys, we are super excited to announce that we have a show that we've been doing for a few months now called Roster Rescue. It's every Monday at noon, and sometimes we even do extra shows if we have a lot of roster rescues to do. But basically what it is, it's an opportunity for us to take a look at your guys' teams, your specific team, and say, hey, I think you should go into rebuild. Hey, I think you are a contending team. Hey, trade for this guy. Hey, maybe look to make this move. We get eyes and hands on your specific team. So if you want to do that, go ahead and head to the website, go under the store tab, and go down to Roster Rescue. Go there, use promo code RESCUE10, and you'll get 10% off. So head there today. It's a great opportunity for us to come rescue your rosters.
I guess about 7 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, we can do a couple. Okay? Where are we off the most? We don't have to do RJ Harvey because everybody knows why that you're way wrong. He's my running back 12. You're running back 17.
And we talked. I don't know that we've already talked Atlanta, so I don't know that we need to talk Michael Penix.
Trevor Lawrence, we're way off on.
We are way off on him.
So let's do Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I have him as my 37th overall player, QB 13. You have him your 66th overall player, 21.
21.
I've been talking
QB 21.
I've been talking about this about Garrett a lot as well.
Sell me on this because he just hasn't done much that warrants me moving him up. I know obviously dude's had tough situations, right? Kind of year in and year out. Year 2 was probably his best year. He finished as QB 8. That was great. But he's had QB 22 finish in his rookie year, QB 8, QB 13, QB 27. Obviously, Liam Cohen coming in is a big deal as far as this dude, wherever this dude, well, I mean, we don't have a ton of information, but, the offenses that he's been in, the quarterbacks have done well, whether that was with the Rams when he was QB coach or Kentucky when he was the offensive coordinator, and obviously Tampa Bay last year. Good things happen. But I just don't know if I'm ready to promote him.
I get it.
As this guy that needs to go up the board.
So Trevor Lawrence is my number one over the last year and a half traded for player.
Okay.
I have a lot of Trevor Lawrence shares. He's 25 years old, 9 months, right? Insulated, number 1 overall pick, considered a generational player, just signed a big contract extension. And I think a lot of people feel closer to you where he's like his ADP, QB 18, which kind of meets us back in the middle a little bit, right?
Agreed.
But in a game of Superflex, when I get a guy who's the number 1 overall pick, who has shown like he could be a QB1, right? And there's times when he plays, like he puts up solid numbers. I feel like he's been a product of like a really bad situation, like you mentioned, like really bad.
Totally agree. I mean, akin to like a Baker Mayfield who always switching offense coordinators, all this kind of stuff, like year in and year out. There's just a lot of turmoil. It's all just happened to have been in one place.
And listen, we can't even judge his Urban Meyer year. So that's a complete pass, right? To be fair to him. That
chaos. Sucks because that's your like base in the NFL is that.
Yeah.
His base year, his first year.
So that was a wash, right? So for me, when I get a guy who I've seen produce and they bring in a guy like Liam Cohen who can work magic with quarterbacks, and we'll see if he can do it as a head coach, right? Because just because you do that as offensive coordinator and quarterback doesn't mean anything as a head coach sometimes.
Sometimes the duties are too much.
But it comes down to it can be. Oh yeah, dude.
Did I just those words just came out of my mouth?
Noises, like get this thing out of me. But like it's not just that. We have it's emergence of I just argued about Travis Hunter and what I think he could be, right?
Sure. Yep.
They trade up for Travis Hunter. We saw what Brian Thomas could do last year. He has got 2 ballers on that offense now. 2. We'll see what Brent Strange can do. And they'll sprinkle some things there. And once they get that, we have, they bring in pass catcher running backs.
Yep.
So I imagine the future, really good running back there long term will probably have a good pass catcher running back as well. I think Trevor Lawrence is just set up for success to be, he's got a big arm, a new head coach, and 2 elite weapons. Not good weapons, elite. We could be talking in 2 years like the Jacksonville Jaguars has the best wide receiving core in the NFL, like the 2 best duo by like a large margin. We already saw year 1 what Brian Thomas could do. He's going to get better. I think when Travis Hunter can bury himself in the offensive playbook and actually learn routes, like I mentioned before, I think he could be an elite tier 1, potential wide receiver 1 overall kind of talent.
Agreed. I wish he would just focus on wide receiver.
Me too.
Obviously, from a fantasy perspective, that's our very selfish view. But Yes, go ahead.
I mean, for me, and now, like, listen, when I go through my ranks tonight, I'm actually going to move them down a little bit because if I had to draft today, I would draft J.J. McCarthy over him. That's how all in I am in J.J. McCarthy. Yeah. I got Baker Mayfield right behind him. But Baker's 30. That's why.
Yeah.
But
how old's Lawrence? 26, you said?
He's 25, 9 months. So, like, I know your first person you're going to have ahead of him that you would say is, like, Bo Nix, for example, right?
Oh, yeah. I think Bo's ahead of him.
They're pretty much the same age.
Yeah, they are.
That's it. Now, I know, like, in Bo Nix, we'll see how he does continually, but they're pretty much the same age. Same tier. I would prefer Lawrence over Nix because of the weapons he has. That's literally a tiebreaker for me. And then guys behind him that I have, Matt, are like Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, like just guys that are either Jared Goff, give me the 5 years.
Sure.
Kyler Murray, smaller, injury prone, maybe not the safe bet, same tier.
Did you say Dak?
Dak, 31 years old, 6 years older for me.
Yep.
Cam Ward, just a little too unknown. Tua, the head situation, right? That's all I have behind him, really. Like,
I have Tua behind him, so I agree with that one.
But you have him at quarterback, Matt. You have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback 21. Yeah. So you have him in the range for me where I have Cam Ward. So you're telling me you have like Michael Penix, Dak Prescott ahead of him, Jared Goff, like
yeah, I do. I've got all those guys ahead of him.
And I'm not even saying like that's like I understand Goff, I do, but like I just love the weapons. I love the new coach edition, and I love. And again, I'm here just taking the 5 years. It's a long time.
I'm surprised. I know. I'm surprised you got Baker. That must be the 5 years as well.
He's right behind him.
Yeah.
Like I have Baker at right behind him at quarterback 14. Just voted by the NFL players and coaches top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I've been telling you the guys that for 5 years now.
I'll be quick to move him up. He's not a guy I'm gonna drag my feet too much with if he looks good.
Yeah.
But I'm at a prove it point with Lawrence.
He could easily be on that boom or bust list show we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
I didn't do any quarterback. You know what I mean? But Matt, I'm with you. Like if it doesn't work out this year, like he will fall down my rankings. It's just I believe it's going to work out.
That's what happened to me last year. I still had him up there.
Okay.
And then it was just like, all right, dude, forget it, man.
Forget it.
Like I'm kind of done with this. I mean, Liam Cohen has given me a glimmer of hope and something to look out for, but not enough that I'm moving him back up the list. You know what I mean?
Well, there's one more. Then we got to move on only because there's one more we got to talk about, and you really because this is when I think you're gonna have to go in and change as well because we're drastically off here.
I think you're gonna have to change.
Where am I going?
You going to Pittman?
No.
All right. All right.
Because I probably do need to move that one.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
57th overall. He's my wide receiver 19. You have a wide receiver 40, Matt.
Yeah, I do.
I need you to hear why a 26-year-old receiver that just finished finally as his breakout and was a wide receiver 1.
Where did he finish?
He's wide receiver 12.
12 overall.
12 overall.
Well, I mean 13 if you go by all the weeks. But
okay, go by the weeks. And he's wide receiver 13. I'll take that too. But he's wide receiver 12, 1 through 17.
Okay.
A player that literally just signed a contract extension, who just turned 26 years old.
Yeah.
Finished a wide receiver 1 and has nothing really around him at all. Is the clear-cut wide receiver. You have a wide receiver 40,
yeah.
Matt.
No, I think that's a little low.
I think it's a lot of low. Like, okay, give me the 4 players right ahead of him so I can tell you how bad this sounds.
All right. Well, hold on.
Let's see. I have him at wide receiver 19. Guys I have right ahead of him, Rashee Rice, Ted McMillan. Guys I can list, like guys I have right behind him, Emeka Ibuka. I would probably take Emeka ahead of Jerry Jeudy. If I go through
you have Emeka behind him? Okay.
Right behind him. I would move him up. But I got Zay Flowers, who's only 1 year
guys
younger than him.
Guys right ahead of him, Jaden Higgins, Jamison Williams. Like, so he needs to go up. Jordan Addison. These are all guys that he should be ahead of.
Yeah, Jaden Higgins.
He's a second-round pick.
Jerry Jeudy was top 15.
Listen, here's my beef with Jeudy. He did it last year with a guy that's not on the team anymore. Now we're bringing in, who knows, 4 different quarterbacks, and it was his 1 year that he finally did it.
Okay.
I agree with you that there's no one else really there. Cedric Tillman is a nice player when he's healthy. I think they're going to be running the crap out of the ball. I don't think there's going to be the passing.
Who's even running the ball, Matt?
They're not going to have the
there's a grease, babe.
They're not going to have the passing volume that they had last year. So I don't expect him to finish as highly.
NFL. They're still going to throw the football.
Of course they're going to throw the ball. I don't think he's going to have the finish because he's not going to have the targets that he had last year. So that's why I don't think That's where I think the rub is. I don't think there's not 145 targets for him to get.
Okay, yeah. So say he finishes wide receiver 18.
Okay, cool.
Give him a wide receiver 40.
Listen, I said I need to adjust him. And
I'm a wide receiver 19, by the way. So
you're
say
a
he
wide
finishes wide receiver 19.
You're a wide receiver 19. I think he's going to end more in the wide receiver 2 realm somewhere. So you're probably much closer. He's not obviously a wide receiver 4. That was another one of those guys that was an oversight. And I'll move him up in the 20s somewhere. I just don't know where that is.
Okay.
It's probably 22, 23. That's where I'm going to feel comfortable with him.
I'm at 19. So again, it's not like we're far off at that point. So
you need
to do tonight, Matt, or tomorrow, is look at this list.
You need to do something with Michael Pittman as well. So last year he was playing with a broken back and a terrible quarterback. And he doesn't deserve to be at wide receiver 39. I don't have him. I am a wide receiver 26. It's not like I'm saying I think Michael Pittman is going to be a wide receiver 1 because I think that ship has sailed. I think we all know that he's more likely a high-end wide receiver 3 at this point.
Yep.
And he's going to be able to get to wide receiver 2 numbers, but he's definitely not. Also, like you have him wide receiver 39, I had Jeudy at wide receiver 40. These are just two guys that kind of slip through the cracks, I think, in both of these cases.
I definitely need to move Pittman up a little bit. When I'm looking, so I'm going through my rankings, it really is just a little bit. But here's the guys I have at 26 down. George Pickens, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Xavier Worthy. For some reason, I have Jack Best really high. Still, I need to move him down. Terry McLaurin, Jordan Addison, Brandon Ayuk, Jaden Higgins, Chris Godwin.
What's the difference between Ayuk and him for you?
Nothing. That's right. But I need to move him. I think I'm going to move him up to that range, which is right around wide receiver 33. But it'll be a little higher because I'm going to move Jack Best down. The only person I'm moving down here is Jack Best. But here's a better example. I don't see much difference between Chris Godwin and Michael Pittman. And I've got Godwin higher.
Michael Pittman has a opportunity, if that quarterback situation gets straightened out, to kind of right his ship this year.
Jordan Addison, I have higher. He's 23 years old. It produces a mid wide receiver 2 year in, year out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you can see those guys similarly.
Big tier. To be fair, once I get him up to, I have him at 39. I'm probably getting him up to about 32.
If you're a championship team, they're your wide receiver 3 or 4.
He needs to be wide receiver 3. Yes, that's exactly what he needs. He needs to be your wide receiver 3 for a championship caliber team. You have him at 26. I think I'm gonna get him to 32 when it's all said and done here.
Yep.
And there's just some guys I'd probably prefer. Even if I'm behind him, I have Godwin at 35, and I probably want to move Godwin up. But Terry McLaurin so here's a perfect example. In that range when you're drafting guys, Terry McLaurin's on the clock. Chris Godwin, I'm leaning towards those guys, and I feel way better about giving me wide receiver 1 chances than Pittman.
I mean, Terry McLaurin specifically has a much better offense, tied to a better quarterback, all that kind of good stuff.
I can legitimately see Josh Downs outproducing Michael Pittman this year in a PPR.
There's some people that are really high on Josh Downs.
Points per game, he's pretty savvy.
He is. I know. I don't know.
Well, this show was all over the place.
It was.
Hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you didn't, well, tune in tomorrow. We'll do better. Or worse.
Or worse. You never know.
That's where you decide your opinion. If you enjoy the show, you had a good time with us today, don't forget you leave those rating reviews in your wherever the hell you listen to us at. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, all that fun stuff the kids do. And we'll be back tomorrow talking more Dynasty Fantasy Football. And it's going to be the boom or bust episode.
Adios.